Good evening. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Chair. I believe all the committee members are here. Chair, would you like to call the meeting to order and start meeting?
Absolutely. So let us begin the Traffic and Pedestrian Safety Committee meeting of June 8th, and we'll start with the pledge. Are we supposed to do it on mic, Sanjay, or to ourselves? I'm not sure what protocol is on Zoom.
Yeah, you can just say to the mic and all of us participate.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then we'll move on to roll call.
Yes. Committee member Ben Doyle.
Here.
Committee member Faith Dunham Sims.
Here.
Committee member Kent Moriarty,
I'm here.
committee member Oliver Collins.
Here.
Thank you. Going to move on to the next item 3, committee member reports. Do we have any reports from committee members? Please go ahead.
I'm Pinole's representative to it's a mouthful, the Contra Costa Transportation Authority citizen. Twice a year appear before that committee list, which is a requirement for them to get their measured so this checklist is due June. List will be covering what the things that the city did that you weren't a part of. Two-year cycle.
Thank you. Any other member have any reports?
Yeah, this is Ben Doyle. I'm not entirely clear as to the difference between the committee member reports and the future agenda items on the agenda. If issues have been brought to my attention, is now the time, or is it in agenda item 7?
So the committee report is really if you are part of any other committees and or any other transportation or any active transportation that you have attended that you would like to bring those to our attention, that city staff or this TAPS committee should actually look into those, or the city staff should look into it, and that those would be under your committee member reports. And but if a citizen has actually brought something to your attention, you can forward it to me, or you say that in the future agenda item to be brought. Either way, it is fine.
Very good, thank you.
I'm assuming there is no further committee member reports. I'm going to move on to the next item. Citizens to be heard for items and not on the agenda. Check if there are any. I don't see any citizens being present for today's meeting. So have to bear with me because our staff also a little short. I'm running the PowerPoint and checking all the online people as well. Okay, I do not see any citizens wanting to speak. I'm going to move on to the next item, traffic and pedestrian issues submitted by the citizens. I have forwarded most of those items that I received during the last month to all the TAPS committee members. I hope you had a chance to go through those. We'll go over those items and what I did for those, and then future plans for those, then each item by item. We did receive a complaint for the crosswalk within the school zone, which is at Tennant Avenue and Plum Street. The complaint was drivers are actually not stopping during the school hours, and that particular crosswalk is you just feel that they have to wait for a long time for somebody to give them way, and they think that it is not very visible and something should be done about it. I looked at those intersections, and I have advised our public works operations and maintenance to actually provide a sign, which we have also at the Tennant and Pear Street. The sign which says state law requires you to give way to the pedestrian, to make more visible, just at the center of those crosswalks. Those things are currently ordered and to be procured, and once we get those, at least we'll start from there. And my future thought is if that does not change the traffic behavior, or drivers still don't give way, and if we hear these complaints again, then we'll move to the next step of most likely putting a crosswalks like a continental type crosswalk pattern there for that location. So that's my recommendation for that location. I'm happy to hear from the council committee members if you have any other suggestions.
Yes, it's Oliver, and I was just wondering if we have any traffic collision data or traffic warning studies that would justify any other changes in that area.
I haven't looked at the any accident data, but I think I can take a go to the state's sweeters data and figure out if there is any background information with respect to traffic collisions there. Thank you. There are no other comments. I'll move on to the next issue that was brought up. Another issue that was brought to my attention was a trip hazard at a Creekside pedestrian bridge. The existing roadway approach to the pedestrian bridge at Creekside is connecting to the plaza and Sierra Court has settled and actually poses a trip hazard. I did visit the place and have our public works staff install some cold patch to brace, to make sure that trip hazard doesn't exist currently, just to as a temporary fix. But that particular location is pretty beat up and old. It needs a little more than just a cold patch. I will have to figure out some time from our public works department when we can actually do a little more than just the temporary fix. But I haven't determined that yet, or haven't been able to schedule anything for that. It will take me some time to get to that. There any comments on this item? Are there any comments?
Oh, thank you.
I don't have a comment.
Yes.
I was just looking, the local rule RSP on the Pinole website, it has a collision. Show it to you.
Okay, you can try now. Yes. Yes.
So you,
Yes.
so I can zoom in.
Yeah, I think the legends are probably on the top. The legends.
Yeah, so anyway, I didn't mean to go down a rabbit hole. I just,
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you for now letting me know that. I'm
Yeah.
sure the consultant has procured at least 5 years of traffic collision data for this
Yeah.
location.
okay, that's all I wanted to do.
So the next item is the in-access ramp to the Creekside from Sarah Court. I think the same member of public did bring to our attention that there is no ADA access ramp to the Creekside. It's a pedestrian trail, which is actually connects from the Sarah Court, which has just a driveway access for maintenance vehicles, but there are no ID access ramp in the vicinity. So I visited the location and couldn't find anything. The closest access ramp is a little farther, maybe a block and a half away. So I will have to be working with our CIP manager to come up with a plan as part of one of the safety programs to make to build a AD access ramp there. We have to wait for that to happen, but most likely I'm hoping to complete that AD access ramp in the upcoming fiscal year 22-23. Any comments on that?
Thank you.
On to the next item. So we received another input from member of public regarding a protected left turn at the APN Way and San Pablo Avenue. The current condition at the APN Way and San Pablo Avenue is there's an existing traffic, it's a traffic signal control intersection. And the traffic signal allows left turn movement from APN Way to San Pablo Avenue as they yield to the through traffic from Pinole to APN Way. And it seems that some of the drivers either don't understand or just try to beat the traffic from the other side. And there may be some near miss accidents or accidents at that location. And I believe our LRSP does identify that intersection to be improved. The details of which I haven't seen yet, whether it is recommended to have a protected left turn, but I know that that intersection is being recommended to be improved for the safety. So I will be looking at the intersection, the improvement proposed at that intersection, and most likely recommend a protected left turn from APN Way.
Sanjay, this has been brought before the committee before. Just so you know, and it was quite a while ago, and at the time, it was cost prohibitive to upgrade the intersection. So it's great to hear that you're saying this intersection can be improved, because it would be nice. The arrow there. Thank you.
Thank you. So the intent, my intent is to piggyback on the LRSP, which will actually let us go through this HCIP program. And if we're able to procure some grants to the HCIP, and that probably will lessen the burden on us to really front significant money from the CIP project to do any improvements. But the idea is to get the HCIP grants and do the improvements at those intersections which has this safety needs. So I'm just hoping that we can get through that.
Sanjay, this is Ben. I have a sort of low rent suggestion on this intersection. I've looked at it, and if you have traffic ahead of you, the only indication that the right lane is for straight and right turn and the left lane is left only is that paint on the ground right before the intersection. So maybe just a sign indicating a little bit earlier, a vertical sign saying that the right lane is right and straight and the left lane is left only would alleviate some of the problems.
Yeah, thank you for your suggestion. I will take a look into it. Most likely, I mean, unless there is a overhead possibility to actually put those signs, most likely those signs need to go on the sidewalk or something, or median. I don't think we have any median space there, but I'll look into it, and yeah, that's a good suggestion. And if it is possible, we can put some signs to say the lane configurations there.
It's Oliver, and I've been driving through that intersection for more than 20 years, and it can be problematic, but I think that kind of the low-hanging solution might be to suggest that there be some traffic police enforcement there, and maybe just correct some of the most egregious violators, because most of the people that drive through that intersection know, but it's Usually they're in a hurry or they're trying to beat a light, and there's a line of sight issue for the traffic coming the opposing way on ABN because they're coming around the turn. But it's been a problem. So any solution with the protected left turn lane might be the best. The solutions, these park out there for a couple of days and write a few tickets, that might help. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll bring that to our PD's attention too.
Sanjay, too, I don't know if it's within our power if we operate, if the city of Pinole has control over that signal, but we could also split the green on Appian, you know, so the Appian, the folks coming down the hill on Appian towards San Pablo, like they have the green, so you have your straight through, your right turners and your left turners. And the folks coming up off Pinion, they have a red. And then it would switch. They would get the green and the other side would get the red. And then of course, San Pablo would, you know, be as usual with the left turn phase and then the straight throughs. I don't know if that computer there is modern enough to split a phase like that or not, but it's a thought.
Oh, yes. I mean, all those traffic lights are within our control, meaning we can do. It is being maintained by county, Contra Costa County, because we don't have our own crew to maintain that, but we have the authority and we can change that. We can figure out the timing and all that. And as far as I know, most of those signals can split the timing, the phases and all. They can do that. I mean, I'm hoping that those are not 50-year-old cards. They must have been, because it was with the previously with the state route, they must have upgraded those. So.
Just a point of clarity, is this citizen raised issue about it's not about traffic coming from Pinion, it's coming from Appian downhill. Is that correct?
Correct. Coming
Okay.
from Appian, taking a left turn on San Pablo.
Previous comment was under a false assumption, it was about the other direction.
Okay, understood. If there are no further comments or discussions, I can move into the next.
One comment, not about those four. Just wanted to thank you, Sanjay, for sending out those emails, because it
Thank you.
I was wondering also, is there some way for us to like keep track of these things? Because there's no, or something that just showed in items that citizens have brought up.
Yes, I mean, I'm keeping track of those in my presentations. As you can see, these items, I'm just continuing to keep track of this here. If and I will send this to you after this meeting. I'll send this to you, this PowerPoint, so that you have, and this is from the beginning of these tabs we restarted. I'm just started to keeping tracks, which are the problem that was brought to TAPS committee. And if we identified a solution, if we did something or we couldn't do something or we're waiting on something. So this is the one that I'm just trying to keep track here.
Thanks. I spoke to you soon.
Yeah, and this is the, this is the spreadsheet that whatever we have discussed until the last meeting, this is what I have reflected here. And today's meeting, whatever I did discuss today, so once that is done, I'll continue this. And I know this is going to get bigger, so I will definitely have to move to a spreadsheet format, like an Excel spreadsheet. And there I can distribute to, for all the committee members, and I can keep a track if what are we doing about it. I just wanted to update regarding the Pinole Valley Road and the Raphael Street red curb. So I have tried to reach out to the church, but apparently, I have not been able to communicate with them. I just send them the emails. I try to call them with the phone number they have, but apparently the timings of their business is kind of different and nobody answers there. So I have today is Wednesday, and right now I believe they're open. So I have one of our public works inspector right now actually visiting them, and they will be, she will be actually handing over my email printout copy to them, and just to let them know if they have any comments about that. Apparently, I'm not really trying to get their, not giving them an option, but I do want to hear them out if they have any comments before I go ahead and do it. Our public works staff actually have started refreshing the red curbs in and around the town. You may have seen some of our workers doing that, and they will be, they're just waiting for my confirmation for that location. Once I confirm, this red curve will be done most likely in this month or so. I'll provide some staff updates for a few of the projects. Appian Way and Marlesta intersection project is currently moving. We are preparing the final documents for to bid it out, and most likely July, second week of July, the bid will be published. It will be out. And we are also sending out information to the residents around the intersection, so that they are aware of this project coming along. Pinole Valley Road improvement, we are still working with the final design of that, and we'll be trying. I will be trying to work with the designers regarding the left turn lane there, and see if there is a possibility to do anything to do the bike lane, provide the bike lane, and come up with a solution. I haven't had a chance to really talk to the designer yet with respect to that. They're still working on the other end of the Pinole Valley Road. Once I get a chance to review the design they submit, then I will have a discussion with them to see the options. Once I get those preliminary designs in my hand, I may bring that to TAPS to see the options, and do a recommendation whether we want to lose the parking or lose the left turn. I will have a recommendation once I have those designs in my hand. But that is probably a little more than a couple of months away before we come back on that.
That you were saying that after you get the recommendation apps with that proposed design. Dangerous situation, and it's a liability.
what I'm saying is that because the engineers, the designers are working on the rest of the project, when they're actually going to bring the design drawings are usually have phases, 50%, 65%, 95%. So I will bring it to tabs for once we have few options, because we understand what the concerns are. So we'll have to come up with an option that whether we want to take the left turn out, whether we want to take the parking out on the other side, few options, and see what are the feasibility or not. And then we can discuss at the tabs before we finalize at 100% design. So I'm not saying that I'm going to bring the 100% design for discussion or just for, for the sake of just looking at it. I'll bring a 65% design where we have some options evaluated.
That's excellent.
Are there any comments or other comments? Hearing none, I'm going to move forward to the next update, development projects. City of Pinole's website currently have only one project under review by planning department, which is 1500 Fitzgerald Drive, Pinole Vista. And the website location, what shows here, is being updated by our planning department, and that I just checked just 2 days before, and this is the only project that is under review as a significant project. Active transportation plan. This is part of our CIP, which is being planned for the upcoming capital improvement on the 22-23 budget, and we expect to complete that next year. We did present our a revised proposed capital improvement plan to the city council last night. The last night meeting was until 12 o'clock. We finished around that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Because this local road safety plan, once we complete it, because we are depending on that plan to be completed for some of the grant application that we are eligible to apply. Without that, we won't be eligible to apply for a bunch of grant programs. And the active transportation plan also are required for similarly for applying a bunch of grants. If you don't have an active transportation plan, then you won't be able to apply for several grants. So we're trying to follow a few of the grants, and before we can go and apply for those, we must make an effort and complete our active transportation plan. As I mentioned, we're working on the HSIP grants, and today our staff, our capital improvement program manager, she attended UBAG 3 meeting today, and CCTA, Contra County, is applying to MTC, and we're expecting county is expecting to receive close to $50 million for the UBAG 3, which will be distributed to all the cities as part of this. And there are various programs they are looking at, or projects they are looking at, which will be considered as a competitive grant. Half of that money is actually being allocated by CCTA for a smart corridor project to upgrade all the signals along regionally significant route. San Pablo Avenue is considered a regionally significant route, and I believe $25 to $28 million is set aside for that countywide smart signal project. The rest of the money will be competitive, and my understanding from the today's meeting is that all the cities are going to submit their projects. So we will be submitting 2 projects, which we think we are in a pretty good shape. One is the Pinole Valley Road improvement, and the second project is Tenant Avenue at the Railroad Avenue crossing project. Both are safety, have safety components and safety related aspects to it, which would compete well for the OBAG 3 money. And there's a minimum grant amount for that is about $500,000. And we are expecting to submit 2 applications for that OBAG 3. Are there any questions, comments on this? Hearing none, moving on. Are there any requests for future agenda items?
Yeah, I have a couple. This is Ben. One is that maybe each meeting around like the pledge or somewhere, we could inform community members how to submit issues to the committee.
Yes,
Just as a reminder.
okay.
Another that's been brought to my attention is the bridge over Highway 80 at Appian is damaged, and should it be slated for repairs? It's probably a Caltrans thing, I imagine, but if it comes up for repairs, there's interest in any repairs to it, maybe include improvements as far as bike and or wheelchair and pedestrian access across. The current sidewalk space on it isn't wide enough for traffic crossing in both directions. There's perhaps room to improve. We're done. And lastly, that bicycle trail access on Pinole Valley Road is kind of cut off to get across the freeway. And that if there's I'd like it if this committee could recommend to the council that an active transportation plan include a route for bicycles to get from Pinole Valley Road on the south side to Pinole Valley Road on the north side in a safe, protected space.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Committee Member Doyle. Just another item that some of the items which we probably we won't be able to decide on the TAPS meeting, or something we probably need Caltrans help, or some of these which needs a bigger conversation with them. I would try to reach out to them, and it is a good idea. Actually, we can when we have a bunch of items and we want to bring it to the council's attention for recommendation, maybe every 4 months we can prepare a list of TAPS recommendations to the council. And we can bring it to them, and one of the committee members I can help with the staff report, and one of the committee members would participate and complete, in the council meeting to present that. Just a suggestion.
Sanjay, it's Oliver. I have a couple of future agenda items. A couple I'm not sure if are future agenda items, but just items of discussion. We had talked about changing the name of the TAPS committee to include a bicycle component, and I'd like to see if we can get that on the agenda in the next, I don't know, a few months or whatever. It doesn't have to be immediately. Also, I had a question about the street sweeping schedule for the city. I know that there is a schedule, but I don't know how closely that's being stuck to, or if there's even someone that does street sweeping now with staffing issues and stuff like that. But I'd be interested in trying to see what the street sweeping schedule is, and if, well, I think I can find out what the schedule is, but if people are actually out doing street sweeping, because there's a lot of debris in the gutters, and particularly in bike lanes and things like that, that I was hoping that would get removed, but it's been months and stuff is still there. The other one was early on, back in our inception, I had sent an email about a number of things, but things in there was getting a city email address to use for business purposes for city documents and stuff. I agree with Kent that it's a great idea that you send out the emails from the community to this committee members so we can sort of prepare ahead of time or go look at sites and stuff like that. I just have a little bit of angst about using my personal email address in case there was some sort of public records request or something like that. I certainly don't want my personal email address going out to the public or being, given out by the city in response to a public records request. And then the last thing I think was that you had sent an email about skipping the July meeting, and that's probably not a future agenda item, but I support that. If this is the time to have that discussion, it might be out of town anyway, and I might miss a meeting, so I support that.
Okay.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Changing the name for the TAPS committee meeting, it has to go to the council. So if the committee member votes or comes up with a name they would like, and vote on it to bring it to the council, I can help write that staff report. And just wanted to inform the committee that yesterday in the council meeting, I had the TAPS bylaws that we discussed previously was approved. It was a consent item in the council. And so, so the date and time, the revised date and time, what we are currently saying as a special meeting would not be required to be called a special meeting anymore. So it was adopted by the council. So the second Wednesday of each month from 6 to 8 p.m., as we discussed previously, would be with the date and time when the TAPS meeting is held each month. So the committee would like to discuss the new name for the TAPS now and vote on it, or would you like to do it at a later date?
I think that a month to come up with some ideas, and then we propose them next meeting, whether that's July or August.
Okay,
I kind of just threw it out there. I didn't expect anybody to have any ideas, but I don't want to put people on the spot either, because there's a lot of good names that other cities have used throughout the California. Just use like something, but I would recommend that we until the next meeting to come up with ideas, and then we could maybe vote then.
That's good. And I think
yes, so the items that was mentioned by committee member Doyle, I believe those are really some of the concerns. So, so that would probably go on my list. So I don't think it needs to be a point of discussion. I have to review, go visit myself and understand the details of how I can write it down to for the bike trail for the south to north side, and availability of sidewalk, right of way, and ADA access on those Pinole Valley Road. Let me do my due diligence on that just to take a look at it, and I will put together as if it is being brought to us by a member of public. And regarding city email addresses for the TAPS members and all, if you'd like me to bring it to city manager's attention and our IT department, if the committee would like to vote and give me direction, I can bring it up to city manager's attention. If to assign to request for a city email address for the TAPS committee, I can do that. Would you like to vote on that?
Sorry, did you say, did we want to vote on that?
Yes.
Yes,
But-
do we need to make a motion or just
Yes.
I'll say aye or?
Somebody makes a motion, then somebody seconds that and we vote.
So
Okay. Well, I brought it up, so I don't mind making the motion if that's okay.
Yes.
hold on, Oliver, just a second. Is it as a point of clarification, can we actually vote on items that aren't? And Sanjay just say he's gonna do it and we just don't. Sanjay can go out and do what he wants, but if we make a motion and vote on.
Historically, we've come up with motions on things that weren't necessarily on the agenda.
Okay, well, that's.
There's like action items that are on the agenda. I think those we probably have to vote for, but I think informational item, like, this, maybe we don't. I don't know the Brown Act well enough to speak to that, but maybe if we just say if anybody's opposed to it, they can speak up and Sanjay can decide from that.
So, yeah, I mean, most of the TAPS committee members are, they would recommend an action to the council if it is something significant, and as a staff, I am not able to decide or make a commitment, then it would go to the council and you vote on that and we bring that recommendation to the council, then council directs us to do that. That's the process. But just for Brown Act, most of the future agenda items usually needs to be voted and agreed by a majority of the committee members. Otherwise, if it's not agreed by all the members, you don't want to put on the agenda. That's how it's said.
Yeah, I agree with that. So do I make it a
Yes,
motion or?
yes.
Okay.
please.
Approach the city manager about getting city email addresses for TAPS committee members.
I second the motion.
I'll do the roll call. Committee member Ben Doyle,
I,
committee member Faith Dunham Sims,
Aye.
committee member Ken Moriarty,
Aye.
committee member Oliver Collins.
I
Okay. Motion passes. I'll request city managers to provide email address for the TAPS committee. And, regarding the street sweeping schedule, if you want, probably I can have our public works manager provide those schedules. Those probably available somewhere on the website. I'm not sure. And that I will take that as if that's a input or feedback from you. And if you know where you think it is not being swept or there's needs little more attention, I can take care of that as public works department manager myself and direct our people to do that. So that I don't think that requires the attention of being put on the TAPS agenda. I will just take that as an input.
Okay, thank you. That works for me. In particular, I'm talking about Marianola and Glencourt and Henry is, basically where I ride my bike out, and it's a lot of debris from the resurfacing project, and there's been a couple of like sewer digs or something like that. There's just a lot of debris in the gutters, and I'm not sure. I think it's the third Thursday of every month they're supposed to come to this area, but I haven't seen the thing come around for, I don't know, 6 months.
Oh, okay, not a problem. And that's what I just wanted to know, the name, locations, and I can have our sweeper go around there and just.
Okay.
Is there any other agenda item that we want for future? Hearing none, I don't see any public. This is what I'm doing wrong. Actually, after each agenda item, I was supposed to ask for open for public comments and close public comment. Apparently, I don't see any public. That's why I never any public comment. I should have said that.
oh, hey, Sanjay, this is Ben. I just thought of one other, my wife brought to my attention. Intersection at 4th Avenue and Nob Hill. Heading uphill, you can't see, if you're heading uphill on 4th Avenue, you can't see crossing traffic until you're in the intersection.
Mhm.
She asked me to bring that up.
Okay. Thank you. And why is it because of the hilly nature of the area? I haven't visited the location, so I don't know. Is it there is some obstruction that is there that can be removed easily, or?
Yeah, there's hedges, and it's
Right.
also because of the hilly nature of it. It's
Okay.
I don't know if there's a I don't know what the solution is, but it's,
Okay,
I checked it out and you really have to get out into the intersection before you can see whether crossing traffic is coming.
okay, okay. I'll take a look at it. I mean, if there is a possible solution, then we will. Put that. Okay, I'll put that as the next. I don't see any public, so no public comments, I believe. If that is, if that's all the discussions we have, Chair, you may be able to adjourn the meeting as I have requested in my email. The next meeting date, July 13, we have a conflict with a special council and a commission meeting. So I would request that we cancel that meeting and go to August 10th, I believe, the next meeting. But my committee members are free to direct me to schedule another date and time, and I'm okay with that too. So,
I'm okay canceling the July meeting.
okay. So would you would somebody vote on that and just cancel the meeting for July 13th and reconvene on adjourn the meeting to the August 10th?
I'd like to make a motion to cancel the July 13th meeting and reconvene at the next meeting, August 10th.
Any
I'll
second?
second.
Thank you. I'm going to do the roll call. Committee member Ben Doyle,
Yeah, I'll go with what the committee thinks.
thank you. Committee member Pat Dunham Sims,
Aye.
committee member Ken Moriarty,
Aye.
Oliver Collins.
Aye.
Thank you. So the next meeting will be in August, in the month of August, second Wednesday, 6 to 8. Thank you. That will conclude our meeting and we'll see you in August.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Aye.